Good evening, everyone. This is the only one of my slides that you won't be able to read from the back. So what do we invest in? What do we hunt for? You can read this, and then I'll unpack it. So product, service, and sales channels, so real stuff that we use every day, stuff that we understand, stuff that my partner Paul and I understand. In underserved and or growth markets, we've got to find things that are innovative, but we also need to find markets that have room for that innovation to prosper. We obsess about markets because we know ideas will evolve over time as they get experimented with, but it's very, very difficult for any seed business, any startup business to change the market that they're in. We want to see businesses able to create habitual consumption. Because what that means is that they have the potential to create a loved brand. What that means for us is two things. One is that leads to additional exit value. None of us are likely to be exiting these kind of businesses at the top of their growth. That's going to be too far away. What we want to do is we want to boost up the multiples that you get on EBITDA or revenue with some brand equity. The second reason why this is important to us is that both Paul and I have backgrounds in retail, marketing, innovation, and brand building. So this is what we do. This is what we are qualified to spot, and it's what we're qualified to help build. What you'll notice there is at no point do we mention tech. We're sector agnostic, but we're also tech agnostic. We happen to have a number of businesses that are digitally enabled, but for us, there's technology is in every business, just like people are in every business, just like finance is in every business. It's not a reason to choose a business. I'm going to give you a few examples as we go through today. First example is actually to do with deploying technology in a very new and innovative way. About 33% of us in this room might have had some kind of musculoskeletal problems. You might have been to see a physiotherapist, and it's remarkable. They'll get you to kind of stand up, sit down, lift your leg, lift your arms, all that kind of stuff, and they make notes. And they put those notes into a Word document, and then they send it off to the orthopedic surgeon or whoever else is going to look at you next, and they have to decipher this document. What Vitru have done is they put some motion sensors and some depth sensors into a box, written some lovely software. The physiotherapist will press a button at the start of your test. She'll press a button at the end of your test, and out will pop a PDF showing exactly how your joints have moved and gives some benchmark figures for the movement. And what we're hoping that Vitru will do is create the standards for which you measure musculoskeletal health. So how do we find these businesses? So we've got something unique, and it's called the Startup Series. It's a competition. It's promoted by startups.co.uk. You can imagine they get a lot of eyeballs. And it runs every month. And from that, we generally get about 100 businesses a month. We've seen over 2,800 businesses in this competition. And out of that, we've selected 20 winners over the course of different months. And they get invested in by the Startup Series Fund, which is run for us by Amersham Investment Management. And that is a SEIS and EIS fund. Generally speaking, we go in at SEIS stage. They're the winners of the competition. And then if those businesses are hitting their targets and their milestones that we've agreed with them, then we'll follow on with EIS. And it's a choice for the investors whether they have one, other, or indeed both. And we generally invest each tertial, so every 4 months or so is our target. And every investor gets a little mini portfolio of at least 4 businesses. Another example, and this is an example of why the competition is important. It gives us reach. It gives us reach out of the London bubble, out of the kind of tech bubble. And Uniblock is a business that's based up in Scunthorpe. And the wonderful thing is it's just created 18 factory floor jobs. And how it's done that is it has this product here that hopefully you can see. It's 2 pieces of EVA foam with graphite in them connected on a metal rack. And it opens up, stack them on top of each other. These are huge. They're about 2 meters wide, 90 centimeters high. You open them up, stack them on top of each other, pour concrete down the middle, and you've got a really quick and really insulated wall. with no skill laboured, which at the moment is a tough time getting a brickie. The other thing that marks us out is we help every business that we invest in. So from strategy through to operations, through to people, through to sales and marketing, etc. And an example here is Weekly 10, which is an app for very quick sentiment and engagement analysis for businesses based upon a quick 10-minute check-in each week. Now, the thing about this business is every business that employs people is their market, which is fantastic for growth, but is a bit intimidating when you think about how do you prioritize your marketing. And one of the things we did here was very quickly help this business to prioritize the sectors to look at, both from a digital perspective and also actually some old-fashioned analog marketing. So just go back to this. So I said changing consumption behaviors. This is B2B or consumer. I happen to have described 3 B2B businesses, so let me just give you one consumer business. This is lovely. This is direct-to-consumer e-commerce, beautiful bedding manufactured in Portugal, same mill that does Ralph Lauren and a whole load of like New York department stores, etc. This is fantastic value for consumers and a really simple shopping experience. We love this business. We've just been doing some more stuff on the brand, improving its tone of voice. And it's really starting to come through. We invested in this only 9 months ago, and their sales in January were 10 times their sales the previous year. And what we particularly love about this, and it doesn't always happen, they are 25% up on the sales forecast that they promised us when we invested. And then last thing, so I'm just nearly out of time, Simon asked us to talk a little bit about how we help you guys. And we're always up. Paul and I have been investing in this space for about 15 years. We're like evangelists for EIS and SEIS. We've done pretty well out of it. We're always up for doing some CBD with your teams. We're also up for any kind of like, we're always up for a drink as well. So like drinks, clients, and SEIS, EIS, happy days. 6-month reports, all that kind of stuff. I just want to touch on this. We call them snippets. We love feeding you stories. Like, which of your clients has ever sat their grandchild on their knee and talked about their pension? Not many. But they love to talk to their family and friends about the investments that they make. And we feed you with those kind of stories so that you can talk to your clients and those clients can get excited. And then the very last thing, because this just amazes me, is how much we talk about tax certificates. Remarkable. But it happens to be, unfortunately, a bit of a bugbear for everybody. But it also is one data point which kind of reflects on how we're serving you to help you serve your clients. And over the last year, we've been consistent. We've always been less than 80 days. We're now absolutely confident that we're less than 60 days from investment to certificate. And actually, the last 4 investments we made in January, we had them out in 24 days. And hopefully talk to you a bit later.